Brooklyn Beckham's family feud has quietly grown into one of the most talked-about celebrity rifts of recent years, intertwining love, loyalty, wealth, and the pressures of growing up inside one of the world's most famous families. What began as subtle distance following his lavish wedding has since evolved into a story that continues to fuel headlines, social media debate, and public curiosity about where the Beckham dynasty truly stands today. Brooklyn, the eldest son of global icons David and Victoria Beckham, married American actress and billionaire heiress Nicola Peltz in a star-studded ceremony in Palm Beach in 2022. The wedding itself was nothing short of extraordinary, blending Hollywood glamour with high society influence. Yet almost immediately after the celebration, reports began to surface suggesting tension behind the scenes. Observers noted differences over wedding planning, styling choices, and family roles, with particular focus on the relationship between Nicola and Victoria Beckham. While none of the parties publicly acknowledged a feud at the time, the silence only intensified speculation. In the months that followed, Brooklyn appeared increasingly aligned with his wife's family. He relocated primarily to the United States, spending more time with Nicola's parents and siblings, while his presence at major Beckham family events became noticeably limited. Fans began tracking social media activity closely, pointing out missed birthdays, muted acknowledgments, and a visible shift in how Brooklyn references famous parents online. For a family once celebrated for its tight-knit image, the change felt significant. Nicola Peltz herself comes from immense wealth. Her father, Nelson Peltz, is a billionaire investor, and the Peltz family's financial standing dwarfs even the Beckham fortune. Brooklyn's personal net worth, while impressive for his age, is modest in comparison. Estimates place his individual wealth in the low millions, built through modeling, photography projects, endorsements, and attempts to carve out a culinary brand. In contrast, the Beckham family empire, driven by David's legendary football career, global endorsements, and Victoria's fashion business, is estimated to be worth hundreds of millions. This dynamic has fueled public debate about power, independence, and influence within Brooklyn's marriage. The feud narrative gained more traction when Brooklyn appeared to publicly defend his wife in subtle but pointed ways. In interviews and social posts, he emphasized choosing Nicola always, language that many interpreted as a declaration of loyalty amid family strain. In one widely discussed statement, Brooklyn suggested that adulthood sometimes requires prioritizing one's partner above all else, even when that choice is difficult. While he stopped short of criticizing his parents directly, the message resonated as a clear boundary-setting moment. David and Victoria Beckham, for their part, have largely avoided addressing the situation head-on. Friends of the family have described the rift as painful, noting that David, in particular, values family unity deeply. Victoria has continued to promote an image of harmony, occasionally referencing her children collectively, though fans often read between the lines. The couple's other children, Romeo, Cruz, and Harper, remain publicly close to their parents, further highlighting Brooklyn's perceived distance. Despite the tension, there have been periodic signs of reconciliation. Occasional public appearances, brief online interactions, and shared milestones have hinted that the feud may be more complex than outright estrangement. Those close to the situation suggest the conflict is less about money or fame, and more about control, independence, and the challenge of redefining family roles as children grow into adults with partners of their own. As of now, Brooklyn and Nicola do not have children, though the topic frequently surfaces in interviews and fan discussions. Should they start a family, many believe it could become a turning point, either healing old wounds or deepening existing divides. For Brooklyn, fatherhood would place him in a position once occupied by David Beckham, potentially reshaping how he understands his parents' expectations and struggles. What makes the Brooklyn Beckham family feud so compelling is not just the celebrity factor, but its relatability. At its core, it reflects a universal story, a young man balancing love for his wife with loyalty to his family, all under the glare of global fame and immense wealth. Whether the rift ultimately fades or becomes a defining chapter in the Beckham legacy remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, the story is far from over, and the world continues to watch every move closely.